Cowboys defense powers Dallas to MNF win over Chargers. Inglewood, California. After a game filled with miscues and penalty flags, the Dallas Cowboys defense came up big in the final 2 minutes to seal a 2017 win against the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday Night Football. With quarterback Justin Herbert playing through a fractured middle finger on his non-throwing hand, the Chargers dropped to 2-3 on the season as the Cowboys moved to 4-2. Dallas Cowboys. After what happened last week against the San Francisco 49ers, a win of any kind was required by the Cowboys. Monday's win certainly wasn't pretty, but the Cowboys entered the bye week with a 4-2 record and still within striking distance of the Philadelphia Eagles and 49ers, who suffered surprising losses Sunday. Everything was in question after last week. Mike McCarthy's play calling, Dak Prescott's ability, the defense's toughness. Nothing was perfect. Too many penalties, too many big plays allowed, not enough big plays made, special teams turnover, but when it mattered, they made the necessary plays. Starting with 3 key third down conversions on a game-winning drive that ended with a Brandon Aubrey field goal, a sack, the first of the game for the Cowboys by Micah Parsons, and a sealing interception by Stephon Gilmore. The Cowboys are now 10-1 after a loss over the last 2 seasons. Maybe they're not dead after all. Quarterback breakdown. Let's forget the passing numbers for Prescott. Let's talk about his rushing. He had the longest touchdown run of his career, 18 yards in the first quarter, and the longest by a Cowboys quarterback since 2010. Prescott has not used his feet as much in recent years. He had 18 rushing touchdowns in his first 3 years and now 9 in the last 5. He had 45-yard rushing in the first 5 games and 33 in the first half versus the Chargers. He's not a running quarterback, but he can be effective with his feet and may need to do more of it. Promising trend. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb had 84 receiving yards in the first half, more than he had in 4 of the first 5 games. He acknowledged during the week his body language needed to be better after he was salty in the San Francisco game. All 5 of his catches in the first 2 quarters covered 10 or more air yards. In the New England game, he had 8 completions with air yards of 10 or more. Silver lining. Maybe it's not a trend, since it's only 1 game, but the Cowboys were solid in the first outing without linebacker Leighton Vander Esch Marquez-Bell moved from safety to linebacker late in the training camp after DeMarvion Overshown was lost for the year with a torn ACL. He was able to come up with a tackle for loss and pass breakup in the first half of 17 snaps when the Cowboys had 2 linebackers in the personnel group. When the Cowboys lost Vander Esch late season, the run defense suffered. On Monday, the Chargers had just 50 yards on 22 carries in Austin Eckler's return from injury. Next game versus Rams, October 29, 1 p.m. Los Angeles Chargers. Monday night's game between the Chargers and Cowboys appeared to have all the elements required to be a high-scoring, touchdown-laden affair. 2 of the best defenses in the league, a former coordinator facing his old team, and a struggling Chargers secondary. Instead, it was another Chargers loss that came down to the final moments. All of their games have been decided by 7 points or less this season. Eye-popping next-gen stat. Herbert was pressured on 42% of his dropbacks, his highest in any game this season. He had the 5th lowest pressure rate at 25% entering the game. The Cowboys' pass rush often forced Herbert out of the pocket as he scrambled for runs and took many big hits from defenders while playing with a fractured finger on his left hand. Pivotal play. The Chargers' pass rush got to Herbert all game, and in the fourth quarter, they forced the game-deciding error. With the Chargers losing by 3 and just under 2 minutes remaining, the rush caused an errant pass from Herbert that landed in the hands of Gilmore, effectively ending the game. Troubleshooting trend. The Chargers are still struggling to run the ball. Even with Eckler returning from a high right ankle sprain he suffered in Week 1, Chargers running backs struggle to have any success, amassing just 35 total yards. Outside of a 233-yard rushing performance in Week 1, the Chargers have rushed for over 100 yards just once this year and combined for just 91 yards in Week 2 and 3. Next game at Chiefs, Sunday, 4:25 p.m.